Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Gen Politics. So over the holiday season, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy have managed to burn up all the goodwill they have built up this year with the American people, specifically the MAGA crowd, because they have decided to double down on this policy that we need mass foreign legal immigration because Americans are too dumb to work sophisticated white-collar jobs. This all started because Trump named Sriram Krishnan as his senior policy advisor for AI. And this is an Indian immigrant to America who has become very well versed in AI, has built a company around it, and is no doubt a leading figure on it. However, his personal affiliations and beliefs is what is tainting this choice for the American people and how they view this. This is because Sriram has spoken in favor of expanding the H-1B visa program and expediting green cards for individuals belonging to certain professions. He has also been in favor of removing the country cap on H-1B visas and green cards, which means that there will be no cap for how many people can come from any one specific country. And he himself has stated his interest in bringing over as many Indian immigrants as possible. And so what is this going to do? Well, this is totally going to destroy the white-collar labor market. They want to bring in these people who, according to their own words, will work for a third of the price of what an American will work for, and they'll just totally undercut any Americans from working in white-collar jobs. That's the plan. And this is un-American. This is not going to benefit the American people in any way, shape, or form. And therefore, the people pushing this, which is Elon and Vivek, have said that this is great and we need all these people. They have been met with an intense amount of backlash on X. And instead of saying, okay, you know what, you're right, this is wrong, we don't want to flood the country with these legal immigrants, because what's the difference? Like, oh, we're not going to flood the country with illegal Hispanic immigrants. We're not going to replace you. We're going to flood the country with legal Indian immigrants. Isn't that so much better? It's like, no, just replacing the title and how you do it doesn't make it better. It's the same thing that if your argument is just about the legality of it, Kamala Harris was going to legally make all of the illegal immigrants legal immigrants by just hand waving and executive ordering that they will all be made legal immigrants and have the process to become legal immigrants. They're all asylum seekers. So that's all legal. That would have been all above board. And then if you had a problem with it, then you have a problem with the legality, not with the legality of it, but with the morality of it, the fact that it's happening in general. And for some reason, these high-level Republicans seem to be deifying this process and saying, well, no, it's not a problem because it's legal. And it's like, no, that's not the problem. The problem is not the legality of it. The problem is that morally, objectively, this is bad for the American people. Bringing in workers to undercut American workers, to kick them out of their jobs, to increase the housing prices because you have more people, to increase the price of everything, is not going to be beneficial to Americans. That doesn't help the American people who are here. It helps the country of America on paper. Maybe our quarterly report goes up a little bit, our profits, but it's not helping the American people. It's helping America. And that's what they don't seem to understand. So in response to this, Vivek and Elon decided to double down, which was a bad idea. On X, Vivek said, the reason top tech companies often hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers over Native Americans isn't because of an innate American IQ deficit. A key part of it comes down to the C word, culture. Tough questions demand tough answers, and if we're really serious about fixing the problem, we have to confront the truth. Okay, so you're saying that Americans are lazy, basically, and that instead of trying to fix the problem, which you said we need to fix the problem, your solution to why are Americans not working as hard as we want them to, right? Maybe that's a valid question. Is it because they're getting paid too little? Is it because they're inherently lazy? What's the cause of that? Well, we're not going to worry about the cause of that. What we're going to do to fix this problem of inefficiency and that our corporations are not making enough money is we are going to import immigrants to replace those Americans in their home country at their jobs. That's the solution to this problem. And interestingly enough, in a Christmas miracle, Nikki Haley's heart actually grew 3 sizes that day, and she came to the defense of the American people. So again, this is going to be a Trump, Elon Vivek bad episode and a Nikki Haley good episode. Very interesting turn of pace. But Nikki Haley, credit where credit is due, came to defend the American people and actually said, there is nothing wrong with American workers or American culture. All you have to do is look at the border and see how many want what we have. We should be investing in prioritizing in Americans, not foreign workers. And she's absolutely right about this. People desire to come to America because it's great, because the people have made it great. Americans made America great, and we can do it again. We don't need to import people, which is a patch job solution to our inherent problems. If people don't want to work, there's a problem that needs to be solved. If Americans feel disenfranchised, there's a problem that we need to solve. And just patch jobbing it by bringing in immigrants doesn't solve anything long term, and will just increase the amount of problems we have. So good on Nikki Haley for actually getting this one right. Credit where credit is due. I'm very happy for Nikki Haley on this one. Elon decided to double down on Vivek's comments by saying, no, we need more people, like double that number yesterday. The number of people who are super talented engineers and super motivated in the US is far too low. Think of it like a pro sports team. If you want your team to win the championship, you need to recruit top talent wherever they may be. That enables the whole team to win. Your understanding of the situation is upside down and backwards. Of course, my companies and I would prefer to hire Americans, and we do, as that is much easier than going through the incredibly painful and slow work visa process. The process that they want to make easier and faster. If that's your only problem with it, is that it's slow, well, that's a problem for Americans because they want to speed it up. And if that's the main hurdle, then Elon's going to jump at the opportunity to very quickly and easily get all these foreign workers. He continues with, however, there is a dire shortage of extremely talented and motivated engineers in America. Yes, according to Elon, Americans are dumb and lazy. This is not about handing out opportunities from some magical hat. You don't get it. This is blindingly obvious when you look at NBA teams, as the physical differences are so obvious to see. However, the mental differences between humans are far bigger than the physical differences. When it comes down to this, do you want America to win or do you want America to lose? If you force the world's best talent to play for the other side, America will lose. End of story. And then Vivek doubles down on Elon by saying, America first means we want America to win. Playing for second place doesn't cut it. But Elon and Vivek are wrong here. They're aiming at the wrong target. They have the wrong idea. America First is not about making America win. No, America First is about making Americans win. People in America have been disenfranchised, poorly treated. We're the doormat of the entire world. Americans are sick of it. What Americans want is to be taken care of for once in their life by their government. The American people want a win. Now, what Vivek and Elon are posing here is that America, the country, is more important than the people. If the people are jobless, it doesn't matter because the team's winning. The team's winning without you. Shouldn't you be happy about that? I don't care if you're jobless or homeless or whatever, right? Because the team's winning. No, that's not right. If you are a leader, you should care first and foremost about the well-being of your people. And this is not the case. What they're caring about is numbers on a spreadsheet. America's GDP will go up if we bring in all these foreigners. We're going to have great advancements in AI. We're going to have great advancements in engineering. We're going to cut the costs of all these workers because we're going to bring in people who are willing to work for a third of the cost. All that does is benefit corporations. What you're doing is using the American government to facilitate bringing in people to completely undercut the white-collar jobs of American workers. That's all you're doing. And all that does is increase the profits of companies. So the American government is functioning on behalf of corporations, not on behalf of the American people. And that is something that has been a long-standing problem in the Republican Party. A very valid observation by people on the left, and something I hope they can agree with in this situation, that this does not benefit the American people in any way, shape, or form. All this is going to do is benefit the corporations and the people who run them, like Vivek and Elon, who would love to have cheap labor come over. And all that does is benefit them and not the American people. It's a bad, bad policy. And even all these lies that we actually need more tech workers, when in fact, this year alone, there was 130,000 tech workers laid off over 457 corporations, including Tesla. So we clearly don't need more people brought in from outside the country. We have a bunch of people who were just laid off. What are we doing with them? Well, we're going to push them to the wayside in bringing people to replace the jobs that we do still have. And many people, if you've read through the comment section, which I spent a lot of time doing, if you read through the comment section, it's a lot of people saying, hey, you know, there's many engineers in America who can't get jobs. There's many people who working in the tech sector or even in just in any white collar position who can't get jobs right now. There's not enough jobs. And what you want to do is you want to bring in more people who are willing to work for even less than what the average American is willing to work for. You want to completely disparage the average American citizen. How is that going to be good and effective? And didn't we just have this whole big fight about getting rid of DEI because the most disenfranchised members of DEI were straight white men that couldn't get jobs, right? So there's a large portion of straight white men who either cannot find work that they're qualified for, right? They're working way below their qualifications and level of pay they should be receiving, or they're just not looking for work because they've totally given up because they feel totally disenfranchised. And isn't DEI on its way out? We were celebrating that suddenly, Americans are going to rightfully get the positions they deserve based on their qualifications. It's going to have nothing to do with their appearance or their ethnicity or their gender. There's going to be all this opportunity and we're going to get back to a merit-based system. Well, no, you're not saved. More like under new management. We're going to replace DEI with immigrants. We're just going to bring in a bunch of legal immigrants who we're going to replace you with. So those jobs you thought you would get when DEI was gone, you would suddenly be able to meritocratically get a position that is worthy of the degree you were convinced to get, who you were talked into getting by your country. That is all a bunch of lies. We're going to switch that, and we're just going to flood it with immigrants. That's our solution. That is what Americans don't want. That is not America first. That is not American first. They seem not to get it. They seem to want to put whatever the country benefits from, no matter the cost to our own human capital, they're considering it's a win for the team. And everybody's got to sacrifice for the team. Americans have been sacrificing enough for a long, long time, and they don't want to do it anymore. So I think this is all going to blow up in their faces. This is goodbye to Vivek and his chances of running for president in 2028. Actually good on Nikki Haley for coming into the defense of the American people. Still don't want Nikki Haley to be president, but credit where credit is due. If somebody is trying to genuinely defend the American people and say that they're not all lazy and dumb, which, why should somebody have to even come to the defense of the American people and say that against Vivek and Elon that, hey, not every American is lazy and dumb like you're saying they are. It's just absurd that they said that and doubled down on it. And then we're piggybacking off each other about how much Americans suck, basically, and how much we need to bring in all these legal immigrants. All this is going to do is completely destroy the country, because you already have these problems with the increased cost of housing, the increased cost of living. Look at any of the major cities in Canada. They're a total wreck. They brought in all these immigrants who do not agree culturally with them, who are causing problems, who even by just existing in the country have increased the cost of living. And then you want to bring all those people in, undercut the actual Americans who want to get jobs and work for the betterment of the country. And all this is a patch job. Like I said, it's a short-term solution. What you want to do if you need more people, encourage them to have babies, or at least stop disencouraging them, right? Make life affordable. Try to solve the mental health crisis. Try to make sure people physically can have children, which is becoming a problem. Stop all those problems that are incentivizing people not to have children, instead of just saying, oh, well, we're just going to keep flooding the country with immigrants every year, and that'll fix our declining birth rates. No, that doesn't fix the underlying problem. It's a patch job. And then we even know when immigrants come to the Western world, they stop having kids as much. There's something just about existing in a first world country in the modern day that is just so terrible and so non-conducive to human flourishing that people just don't even want to have children, which is the basic of human desires, right? And I'm not saying that's for no reason. There's clearly reasons that's happening. And instead of addressing those, we say, oh, well, we're just going to, replace you in your own country because that's going to fix things. And then instead of building up the human capital, saying we don't have enough doctors, we don't have enough lawyers, we don't have enough tech people, whatever it is. So what do? Well, you actually encourage your own people to become those lawyers and doctors. You encourage a process that creates the people you need instead of just every year you pump them in, because that's not a long-term solution. That's not viable. It doesn't last long-term. You bring someone in who's a doctor who's 50, he'll be operating for, 20 years and then he's done, right? And then you have no young doctors. You'll just have to keep bringing in more people. Your country should produce everything it needs, human capital wise. And if there's some exceptions, like the best in the best of the world, like a very small, like we're talking hundreds or thousands of people throughout the world. Like if you brought in 1,000 people every year who were the best of the best, that's different than bringing in millions of people every year. And then at the same time, not even encouraging your own citizens or helping them out to become the very things you need. That does not benefit America as a whole. It does not benefit Americans as a whole. So overall, I think this is a really bad look for Elon and Vivek. I think it is kind of showing a split in the Republican Party in these beliefs of what it means to put America first. What does making America great again actually mean? What does it look like? Who are we trying to help? What are our real targets and goals? And for the longest time, those were already really kind of vague and sort of just like, oh, we're just going to go against the Democrats for the meantime. And their, obvious globalist ideals. Now we're going to push nationalist ideals. Well, okay, well, then what do we put first? The American people or America as a country? And that seems to be the split on this issue where Vivek and Elon want to put allegedly the country first, and the people going against this want to put the American people first. I think Trump is going to look at this. I think he's going to see this on X. This doesn't mean that Trump is going to go along with, no cap, total like rush job, bring in as many immigrants as possible. He's mentioned it. He's alluded to it. Will he actually do it when he sees the backlash from millions of Americans saying, we don't want this? This is not something that's going to benefit us as individuals in our own country. I think Trump is fairly reasonable. I think he does listen to the will of the people. I think he does care what the people think. And I think despite having Elon and Vivek in his ear about this, I think he will put his foot down. He has put his foot down on issues against Elon, like the whole electric car thing. He says he loves gas cars. He wants to keep gas cars around. He's not going to mandate. He's actually going to remove electric car mandates. Those all are going to hurt Elon. But I think Trump, when he cares about something, when he thinks the American people care about something, he's willing to put his foot down, even if it's against people who he likes or respects or whatnot. So I'm not too worried about this overall getting implemented, but I think this is a concern about where are we going as a country? And we need to have these things sorted out before they happen under our noses. Luckily, with issues like this, anytime they get brought up or mentioned, the American people are almost immediately jumping on it and saying, we want this, we don't want this, we want this part of it implemented, we want these parts of it, cut out. The American people are paying attention more. And it's just showing that because we have a president who wants to listen to the people, that more can actually benefit us, right? The more we actually speak out about these things, we can actually have a substantial impact. We have a government that is willing to listen to us now. So we should take advantage of that, because it seems like first the whole bill government shutdown thing that changed as soon as people, voiced their opinions very heavily. And I think this will be kind of the same way. So overall, I don't think there's too much to be worried about at this stage. I think Trump really wants to put Americans first, not just America. And I think that is going to lead to the most flourishing for the most amount of people. And we'll just have to see how this sort of, these Republican infighting kind of pans out. So that's my thoughts on this. I appreciate it if you made it all the way through the video. If you like the content, like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you for watching.